Hi everyone, Peter Coney here. Not that you know me yet. I can hope I get famous someday, but well, I'm a background actor. As some of you might have heard it called, an extra. I work in TV and film as one of those guys who walks around the scenery and doesn't say anything because then they'd have to pay us more. And, well, that's not our job. But I'm talking to you now because, well, nothing's being filmed here in New Orleans, and I'm bored. And the reason nothing's being filmed is for good reason, because, well, a lot of people are getting sick out there with coronavirus or COVID or whatever you want to call it. Just don't fucking call it Chinese flu or any of that bullshit. Because, well, that's stupid and racist, and anyone who says it isn't is being stupid and racist. If they give you some schlock about it being similar to how they called the Spanish flu, well, guess what? That was racist too. Um, yeah, that was back in 1918. We still had segregation back then. People were still saying, well, the N word, I can't say it because it's racist. I wouldn't say that any word from back then is a good example of how saying something similar now isn't racist. That's that's my reasoning at least. But that's kind of diverging from the point. Um, Recently, a reporter asked our president what he would say to the people out there who are scared right now. And he gave a fucking idiotic answer, just attacking the reporter. That goes against who we are as Americans, and I don't accept that. And seeing as we aren't getting leadership from our president right now, and, well, the few leaders we have who are any good are busy arguing with each other about who should replace him. Well, not that busy, but that's pretty much it. Regardless, I figured I'd try to weigh in on it. I'm not saying I have any answers for you that are that wonderful, but I can do a better job than he can. A moldy piece of toast could do a better job than he could. But anyway, you're scared. I'm scared. That's okay. But people seem to think that to be courageous is to be without fear. And I'm here to tell you now that no, it's not. Courage, bravery, the values that we need right now don't come from a lack of fear. They come from feeling fear and facing it and moving on and continuing to persevere. If you don't feel fear, well, then you're probably a sociopath who just doesn't feel emotion. But that fear can either empower us to work hard and to get past all this, or it can cause us to shut down, to shrink back, and to hide. And I mean, a certain amount of hiding is what we've got to do because it's social distancing and all that. I'm not saying go out there and go, I'm afraid, but, I'm going to live my life and party. No, no, not that. But we cannot allow our fear to overcome us. We can't allow our fear to stop us. We can't allow our fear to lead us to give up. To be perfectly honest with you, I've been, economically speaking, in a pretty bad place for 2 years now. I felt fear every moment of it, and this additional situation, well, it only makes matters worse. But every time that I have felt like giving up, I've chosen not to. And I wish I could talk about how it's not an easy choice to make, but it is. Because, well, there isn't much of a choice. We are in no position to give up. We are in no position to do anything but persevere. If you're scared now, recognize that those around you are also scared. Help them. Call your loved ones. Do what you can for your family, for your friends, for your community. Be the best human being you can be. Don't selfishly hoard for yourself. And when you see people freaking out, try to be understanding. Try to be there for them. We are not a nation of cowards. And by that, once again do not mean to say that we don't feel fear, but rather that we don't let it control us. You have more fight in you than that. I have more fight in me. I'm not giving up. You shouldn't either. So, wash your hands. Wear a mask if you need to. In public, you don't need to wear one around home. Duh, obviously. Limit exposure to others when you can, both for your own sake and for theirs. And again, I may be repeating this for like the third or fourth time. Don't give in. And whatever you do, don't make this about hate. Don't make this about distrust of foreigners, of outsiders, of those of other races. That doesn't help anyone, and it divides us. You need to be there for your fellow Americans and for those who aren't, because that's the best of who we are as a nation. Other than that, there's not much else I can tell you. And, well, if you're watching this going, who the fuck is that guy? I don't blame you. I'm just a guy who's hoping that something I do or say is going to make a difference here. So, please don't let it be in vain.